This is video 306 of the least expensive funeral and burial services in this area. We're going to do a comparison between a traditional burial and green burial. What is the difference on each one of them? Most people, when they hear about a green burial, natural burial, they just think of the family driving in a pickup truck, driving a simple casket, digging a hole, and burying their loved one. Believe it or not, that's what most people think. So I'm going to walk you through everything that needs to take place, even if you decide to go the green burial route. The main highlights on a natural burial is that there's no embalming and they use a biodegradable casket. There is no concrete or cement vault, and they use a natural landscape. It's just a simple flat stone, and it's a lot more affordable than a traditional burial. The green burial reality is that you still need several services from the funeral home and also from the cemetery, and I'm going to go through each one of them briefly. I created this chart to make it easier to understand and see all the things we eliminate by choosing a green burial from a traditional burial. Some of the things that we eliminate, again, is the embalming, cosmetics, the dressing, preparation for the casket viewing. We also eliminate the 2 days use of the chapel, one for the viewing, the next day for the funeral service. We eliminate the expensive caskets, police escorts, the cement or concrete vault, the marker, those expensive upright markers, the floral arrangements, and the traditional hearse. On the right side, we'll see that the caskets that are used are biodegradable. They use a simple flat stone as a marker, and they use native trees, native wildflowers, and a very simple lowering system, lowering of the casket. As you can see, it's a huge difference, and each one of those items is quite expensive, and you get to see that at the end. There are some services that we're going to need no matter what. If we go to the traditional service, traditional burial, or the green burial and try to minimize the funeral usage, we still need certain things. We still need the receptionist, the funeral director, the staff that processes permits and paperwork. We still need the crew that does the transportation to the funeral home. So we still need their professional services. Remember that the driver and the assistant, they have to be available holidays and again 24/7 when they're needed. We still need refrigeration to preserve the body for maybe a few days or sometimes even a couple of weeks until all the paperwork and everything gets in order for burial. The funeral home still needs to coordinate with the family on several things, documents that needs to be filled out. So we need the vital statistics. Remember that there are forms that have to be filled out and permits. And they also need to coordinate with the county to get permits and get death certificates. For the death certificates, they need to get all the information from the family first. They need to get a hold of the physicians that took care of your loved one. And once they have all those pieces together, they submit them to the county, and the county issues the death certificates to the family and also the permits required. The biodegradable or green burial caskets are a fraction of the cost in comparison to the traditional caskets. You can find them from around $500 to about $1,200, $1,300. We need transportation now to the gravesite. Cemetery plots on a traditional cemetery can be very expensive, sometimes $10,000, $14,000. On a green burial, you're looking more around $1,500 to $2,500 range. It depends on the area, but that's the approximate cost, which is a fraction of the traditional cemetery cost. The opening and closing fees could also be a lot less, anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for the opening and closing. You can find those flat stoned markers for the natural graveside, sometimes in a couple of $100, $400, in comparison to about $1,500, $1,800 on a traditional cemetery. So here's a brief summary of what you need from the funeral home and from the cemetery with the green burial option. You need the funeral home's basic services and the staff. You need the permit processing, coordination with the family, death certificate filing, transportation, usually 25 miles from the funeral home, refrigeration until burial, casket selection, coordination with the cemetery, transportation to the cemetery. That's from the funeral home side. At the cemetery, you need the plot selection and purchase. You need the opening and closing services, the headstone selection, remember the simple one, the name and date engraving, the gravesite service, and you also need a utility vehicle and equipment needed for the burial. How much are you really saving by going with the green burial option? Maybe it's not about savings for you, it's just about your beliefs or returning back to Earth naturally, biologically. So here's an idea of how much you save regardless. For embalming, around $800, and it varies from funeral home to funeral home. Cosmetics, around $350. The dressing, $250. The use of the chapel, each day, $650. The expensive caskets around $3,500. The escorts, $1,200. Concrete vault, the ship ones, those are $1,200. $1,700 for the marker. Flower arrangements around $500 more or less, and the usage of the hearse $550. So in total, you're saving around $11,400. What is the approximate cost in this area for the funeral services on a green burial option? It's around $5,500 if you go that route in average. And for the cemetery, around $5,000. So you can count on $10,500 to $13,000. Looking at both scenarios, the traditional burial, the approximate cost, funeral and cemetery, is anywhere from 15,500 to 21,000 plus on, again, a traditional burial. On a green burial, you're looking at anywhere from 10,500 to 13,500. That's with both the funeral home and the cemetery. So you are saving quite a bit on the green burial option, anywhere from $5,500 to $10,500. Thank you for watching this video. I help families pre-plan their funeral arrangements and all important documents proactively. Feel free to reach out to me via phone call, text, or scan the QR code, and I'll be happy to assist you. Many blessings to you.